Welcome back. And as we start off this time, as various governments and groups advocate for stiffer penalties for sexual offenders, experts are taking a look at the social effects on victims. Let's get more on this as mental health practitioner Tolulope Uko Igairi joins us. You're welcome to News Across Nigeria on Channels Television News.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start from what seems to be, trending at the moment. It's been 16 days of activism against sexual and gender-based violence across the states of the Federation.
Right.
What do you think this call to action has engendered?
Personally, I think it's a good thing that we are rising up to the occasion. It's a good thing that Nigeria is taking this seriously. A sex offenders register has been approved in some of the states, and so it means that we are rising up to the occasion. But the truth is there's still more to be done, but we are not folding our arms. We are not where we used to be. We are making efforts, and that's a good thing currently.
Do you also think, as a result of this, victims will begin to get more of psychosocial support that they need for them to recover?
Yeah, so talking of psychosocial support, I think we still really need to put a more functioning system in place. If we are telling people to come out, if we are telling them you are safe, you can now speak. Now, if they speak, what next? A lot of NGOs are doing a lot of practitioners are trying to make effort. The law enforcement, the government, everybody is making effort. But the psychosocial support that you just mentioned is huge. So when these people come out, are there practitioners that are qualified, that understand how to deal with people who have been traumatized, who are trained, people who have, the needed skills and the understanding of how to help these people? That is the area I think we are a bit lagging behind, and, the area of counseling, professional mental health counseling. A lot of people are dealing with issues as adults. You trace people's depression, you trace their personality disorder, you trace it to maybe sexual violence of 20, 30 years ago. So if we are saying people should come out, then there should be proper system in place to make sure that these people are getting the necessary counseling. Now, jail the offender, fine. That is the right thing to do. Jail the offender, pass laws to protect the people, right. But the mental health of the victim, even in some cases, the mental health of the person who is victimizing the people. So there are people who are not me. It might interest you to know that there are non-offending pedophiles. There are people who are pedophiles, but who don't even want to offend, who have the urges to offend, but they don't want to. So what are we doing about all of these people to make sure that they don't even offend in the first place?
Absolutely.
That is where counseling, mental health
But then in that regard, how can institutions be strengthened, to provide this form of counseling, and are the institutions even available in the first place to offer this peculiar type of counseling? Right.
So I am the executive director of the Institute of Counseling in Nigeria, and this is what we do. And there are we just need more hands. People who really understand counseling, professional counseling, not just guidance counseling that we are used to, which is majorly about choosing a career or about the kind of subjects that children should take in school, but people who understand how to treat people who are traumatized, people who understand how to help people who are dealing with depression, who are dealing with anxiety, who are dealing with a lot of mental health issues, So it's just that we need a more holistic approach, and we are here actually to help people, and we feel like there needs to be more awareness that people need, even NGOs need to start having proper functioning mental health counseling units, right? Not just people who can advise people. Counselors actually don't necessarily advise. We don't advise. People who have functional counseling units where people can walk into and feel right.
You spoke about holistic approach, and that takes me to the next question, which is about access to justice and training in terms of, responding to these victims. Some of the victims talk about visiting security institutions where they experience secondary abuse, where they are asked probing questions that are not necessarily material to investigating those who have abused them. What's your reaction to this?
So in Lagos State, for example, I know that DSVRA now are doing a lot in the process of trying to make sure people are speaking to the right person. They are not witnessing secondary, trauma again as a result of trying to get justice. They are doing a lot, training police, training nurses. I mean, I've been in almost all of these trainings. But it is okay to train those people. Now, I'll give you an example. You are training a nurse to offer psychosocial support, but the nurse is already overwhelmed with the medical attention that she's giving to maybe her client or patient. She's already overwhelmed. So that's why we are saying, can you have a functioning mental health counseling table in all our health centers, in all our secondary schools, even if possible in local government offices, where somebody can feel like I don't like the way I'm feeling today, or somebody is looking at me in a funny way in my house, or I don't like the way this man is following me, and the person can easily walk up to that place and speak to that person in a confidential manner, and the person will understand and know what to do, not just sending them to the right quarters.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not just sending them to the right quarters, but also, giving them the right intervention.
Yeah. So, access to justice now. Just before we let you go, more often than not, victims never get justice. How can security institutions be more equipped, better equipped, to prosecute cases of sexual and gender-based violence successfully?
Now, I think training, and just like I said earlier, what you don't have, you cannot give. A lot of people talk about counseling and mental health. People talk about it in a lot of cases because people are talking about it, not that they really have a deep understanding of what we are talking about. So there is need for training, for people to really get, it has to be something you are really passionate about. People personalize this, and then they will be able to help people better.
We must thank you very much, Mrs. Tolulope Oko-Igairi, for being on News Across Nigeria, and thank you for your time and thoughts.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.